of safety, and then also my first thought was like, "This can't happen again," or
Right.
like, "This can't," because now that I've experienced it, I just felt like this can't happen to other students,
Right.
especially when it's so uncommon. It was at back to school night. I was literally touring the school. Like, it's a very uncommon time for school shootings to even happen. It's usually during the day of a
Yes.
school year.
Yes.
So, I was like, that and so that kind of set my tone. The fact that, like, it has to end, like, now. Like, it has to end with me. Like, I cannot allow any other student to experience what I've experienced. And
Yes.
so I took on leadership. I found other students who were interested. I know our first major event was actually planting a tree in memory of victims and survivors of gun violence for Wear Orange, which is National Gun Violence Awareness Month in June.
Okay.
And but that set the tone. I never really sought out to like teach myself to be a leader. I just kind of learned on the go, which I
Right.
think is the best way. I
Yes,
had
it
a lot
is.
of mentors, but I learned on the go. And I as I continued to be pushed, I was actually pushed a lot by the people around me. My moms, like they are called moms to me in action, but they are my moms.
Oh,
And they really, like, pushed me to talk to legislators. They're like, "You have a story, and
yes.
your story is important," and they really embedded that in me, like, that they need to hear what happened to you. They
Yes.
need to hear your voice. Like, they made me the most important person in the room when it came to legislative work and advocacy, and
Mhm.
that really taught me as well about speaking up and using my voice,
Yeah.
and it taught me tough lessons because
Mm.
legislators can always say no.
Yes. Yes.
And it taught me a tough thing, but also a mindset shift that has continued to push me, um, even when I face adversity, is that at the end of the day, they will remember that I showed up and I told them what happened to me because
Right.
it's everywhere and it can happen to someone close to them or someone in their neighborhood, someone they know. And at
Yes.
the end of the day, they'll go, essentially like, "She warned me,"
Right.
like, essentially, "I heard about this and how close it was, and I didn't do anything about it." So,
Exactly.
it's understanding and sharing that with our other young leaders, and I help mentor them, I help new groups that are starting, I help get them on track and tell them what mistakes not to make that I made when I first started. I'm
Mm.
also part of the national training team, so I help with different levels of training as well. And so
Okay.
that's just that's what yeah, I have my hands in
Yeah.
like every single
You're busy.
every single thing. I'm part of the rapid response team for legislative
Mm.
work.
Yeah.
You'll always see me at advocacy day. I don't think I've ever missed advocacy day.
I know that's right. Thank you.
So
Thank you for your service. Thank you. Yes. I mean, you're really doing it. So, question, what got you to the People's Choice and Miss Maryland, and I mean, you stepped your faith into that too, huh?
yeah, so pageants really wasn't something it wasn't on my radar to the extent where I ever thought I would do it.
Mm.
But I really, my personal story is that I really felt like pulled to it suddenly. I'd like to say like God was very involved with it, that He
Yes.
wanted me because it really it shaped more of my voice. It refined my voice, but it also taught me a lot about myself, how I'm not willing to break my resolve, how
Mm.
I'm willing to not because in the pageant space,
Mm.
having the platform that I have, I've
Yeah.
had, you get coaching, you get mentors. I've had basically anyone I've ever worked with say your platform is too serious,
Mm.
your platform is too intense.
Mm.
In the interview room, you shouldn't talk about, firearm legislation. That's too much for them.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like it's this thing that is so outside of pageantry,
Hmm.
and there are several women who do take very serious platforms to pageantry,
Yeah.
but it's like pageantry goes to a certain extent of issues. And
Mm.
the reason I started was because gun violence prevention was like a difficult question they asked you for like
Mm.
top three. right?
Really? Wow.
So, yeah, like, for, like, Miss USA, it was, like, maybe you'd get a question about how you feel about gun violence for, like, the top 3, and then they'd pick whoever answer they liked the most, but it
Oh,
wasn't represented by a particular, delegate,
I got you.
and
Yeah.
so I wanted to be that because I'm like, to me, how do
Mhm.
you represent the US and
Right.
not represent the by far, the biggest issue facing our country?
Mm.
So, that was also why I wanted to do it, because I wanted to be that representative, and
Mm.
that's also where, my motto came from, which is, "You're the leader you have been waiting for."
Mm.
Because in that moment, I said to
Right.
myself, "I have to do it."
Yes.
Because I'm waiting, I'm like, I'm and the thing is we all do it. We go, "I'm sure everyone else sees this issue. I'm
Yes.
sure everyone else thinks the same." Don't get me
Yes.
wrong, I talked to a lot of students, a lot of other adults that felt the same way. We had very deep conversations about things that we could change and agreed on a lot of things. But
Right.
the difference between me and them is that I wanted to put my feet on the ground, that I
Mm.
wanted to make the calls, I wanted to meet the people, I wanted to have hard conversations. And
Yeah.
so taking that, I had to become that person that represented whenever I compete, it's never been about myself because I'm not even just representing a bigger issue. I'm literally representing survivors and victims of gun violence. Every time I take on the stage, every time I share my story, it's
Mm.
about a national struggle with this. While I was in Florida, there
Mm.
was actually a shooting my second day there.
What?
Yes. I was watching the news and there was actually a shooting the second day my second day in Florida, and unfortunately a 19-year-old was killed. So it
Oh,
was like, this is real, and whether people wanna accept it or whether people wanna feel like it's too intense or not, I
right.
survived it.
Yes.
So, that's part of
Yes.
my story, and it's part of so many people's stories. I've
Yes.
had people come up to me and say, "Thank you for what you're doing," because they've had even, like, when it comes to suicide, they've had a friend or family member who used a firearm,
Mm.
and the importance of safety, and, like, if we had better legislation that kept them from having it because the common knowledge was that they struggled with depression and what could have been done
Right.
legally that would have prevented that from happening. So it's this awareness that they really appreciate and how they've learned so much from it, and they share their story as well. So
Yeah.
I represent so much more. I don't just represent my state. I represent the nation whenever I step on stage. I represent an organization that has allowed me the opportunity to turn my trauma into purpose
Amen.
and been able to impact other people. I
Yeah.
was very proud to have my gown for evening gown was orange. It was the most
Really?
beautiful orange,
Oh,
and it
you
was
got
not
special
planned. I
pictures.
wasn't looking for an orange dress at
It was
all.
it was there for you.
And I was like, "Wow," and it was so emotional for me because, like, I wasn't just competing in evening gown, I was like, "I'm representing gun violence awareness because
Right.
that's the color of gun violence awareness," and I was like, "I'm representing so much just by being here," and it was just a really, really proud moment. But pageantry has taught me to double down, you
Mm.
know? Win or lose, I know that I'm been putting I mean, I until pageantry, I would have never gotten the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award
Mm.
because I was never surrounded by people who even pushed me to apply for it. And it
Right.
was that time that I actually sat down and I saw the work that I did. I mean, there were several years I never took any pictures. Like,
Wow.
there's even several years that are missing because I
Wow.
never took any pictures. I was
Wow.
just I was just in
You're
it. I
like
was
a
there. I
ghost.
was like, "I'm just doing what I need to do." I was like, "What pictures? We don't have time for that."
You're like a ghost. Okay.
So, it was just like but also to see, like, all the things all the events I've gone to, all the things I've done, all the legislation that was passed, it was
Yes.
like, you're doing the work, but to see it on paper is like
I
it was
know.
amazing to
It's
me, and I was like,
amazing. Yes.
whatever happens, I was like, I've done so many amazing things
Yes.
with working, with advocating,
Yes.
and then, they said, "You've been selected as a recipient," and I was like, "Amazing."
Okay. All right.
Because I would got to, represent my organization and
Yeah.
hopefully inspire other students that a lot of times when you hit the ground running and you just keep going, it's hard to see the progress and the
Right.
impact that you actually make. So
Yeah.
I saw it as an opportunity to inspire other students that we are absolutely making an impact and that it is nationally recognized, the work
Yeah,
that we are doing.
that's
So that was a really special moment for me.
that is so awesome. I love every minute of this conversation. So at the end of the day, let me ask you a question. At that moment, because we didn't really get into the topic of what happened the day that sparked
Mhm.
this future venture. We never. I mean, at the moment, what actually happened? Like, where were you at? And
So we were touring the school. So mind you, this was also a brand new high school. Like they just built it.
where was this at?
So
In Maryland?
Frederick High School.
Okay.
Yes. So we
Mm.
actually got a new school. I was excited to get into to have my full 4 years in this brand new school. I
Oh.
literally witnessed it being built from the ground up.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because my middle school was right next to it.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so I literally witnessed it. We were all very excited.
Excited. Yeah.
So it was a brand new school. We were touring it. It was amazing. We got to, we're getting excited for high school. We always ready to be an adult,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes. Okay.
And I was touring and, it was me and like there was a couple students that were still kind of touring the building and then like we heard I didn't know at the time what it was because it's just not something my mind would have processed as that, oh, those are gunshots.
Right. At
I was
young.
like I
Yeah.
was like, "Who's doing fireworks?"
Oh
And I
yeah.
told my mom too, I was like, "Who doing fireworks right now at this time of night?"
Okay. Yeah.
And then we found out, like, we were sheltered in the cafeteria until they didn't really tell you anything. They just were like, it was like a shelter in place kind of situation.
Right.
And then eventually we did find out that there were gunshots and
Mhm.
that it was actually there. So there was a basketball game actually going on the same night of back to school night. And so
Mm.
it was a shooting at the basketball game.
Oh, okay.
And so two basketball players for Frederick High School were shot and wounded.
Mm.
And
Mm.
then everything, and even then, like it wasn't really all that real to me. I was
Right.
like, okay. But the next day,
Mm.
when I saw like the high school and my middle school displayed on the news, and they had shut down school the
Wow.
next day.
Wow.
So the middle school was shut down and the high school was shut down the next day.
Mm. So
And
was
I
this
was
a
like,
random? Was this a random or someone was target?
I think I'd have to look at the report again, but they said something, some kind of disagreement. It might have been gang affiliated or something like that.
Mm. Mm.
Um, yeah, but I think there was like two people that were involved in the shooting that
Okay.
actually did the shooting.
And they was
But
they was from the high school, so they was young and not
yeah,
responsible. Yeah.
yeah,
And that plays a lot of part, and then mental health. Mental health
yeah.
plays a lot. So I have a question. Speaking about mental health, you passed a lot of laws, well, you helped a lot of laws get passed.
Mhm.
Um, are any of them about guns and mental health?
We've had I don't believe we've had any particularly about mental health. I know I had one that I helped pass. I testified twice for it to be passed for Frederick County for the school shooting drills, and it
Mhm.
was to number one school shooting drills. They didn't offer any support afterwards. Like there
Mm,
were kids having full trauma responses. I mean, knees to the chest, rocking back and forth, crying
mm.
and then once it was over, it was like, "Back to class."
What?
There were I and everyone thinks I'm joking when I say that. I mean, literally, the teacher just goes like, "Back to doing your assignments," and they just, like, didn't care what
Wow.
was happening to you. So that was the main thing. So it was like, okay, like, they're having a traumatic response. Let's
Mm,
not, just, like, ignore that. So it
yes.
would require that, they got the counselor involved or whoever they need to get involved to help them deal with it. But also, if parents knew their child had those kinds of responses but could not handle it, the parents would be notified before the drill is done so they
Mm,
could keep their kid from like actually keep their kid from school if they felt like it
right.
was gonna be too much for them. It also banned automated sounds. So yes, some school shooting drills have gun sounds, which I think is the most outrageous thing to do to
Wow.
children. Yeah.
Yes, that's crazy. Why would they
Yeah.
do that?
To make it I don't like, I guess the logic is, like, to make it seem real? I don't know.
I mean, I went to school in '88, and I mean, even when they talk about fallout shelters, I ain't never seen them dropping sounds of bombs. That's
Yeah, I don't
insane.
know. But
It's
yeah,
traumatizing.
it's been very interesting comparing different kinds of drills and how the standards are so different for school shooting drills.
Yeah.
But we did also do, like, I know every town definitely did studies on it and saying how unhelpful it is. It actually made students more concerned because most of the time the shooter was a student. So it was like this wasn't actually protecting us. Technically, which was the general consensus from students, is that technically a potential shooter knows where we're going to be hiding, knows all
Yes.
the procedures.
Yes.
So there was that as well. But I
Mm,
did get that pass, and that was mainly for the mental health of the students that they were having breakdowns and there was no support for them.
mm.
And yes, and then like anything that could trigger them, like let's not do that.
Yeah.
So other than that, as far as I know, well, here's the thing. It's not particularly a mental health focused bill, but
Right.
Maryland was the first state to pass was the first state to pass a statewide Center for Fire and Violence Prevention. And
Oh,
so that was actually directly connected, or headed by the Health Department of Maryland.
okay.
And
Okay.
that covers victim survivors prevention as far as in that capacity.
Mm.
We haven't, the thing is, with enough, or that's just what I think, is that over my time in advocacy, what I think is most effective is handling necessarily, like, mental health is an issue in the US,
Yes.
but it's handling, like, there's a lot of cases when you look closely at them, at the breakdown, that there was a lot of red flags before they got the firearm, like, that they
Yeah.
shouldn't have been able to get it, and
Mm.
it wasn't, sometimes it's the laws, but it's also the seller, like, things,
Yeah.
like, that you should have been looking out for, or
Yeah.
seen when you did the check that was just kind of overrided as well. And
Yeah.
then the other major issue with gun violence and how people are getting firearms is if one state has stricter legislation for background checks, they can go to another state and then purchase it and then drive back with it, no problem.
Really?
Yes, and that's how most a lot of the guns are actually ending up in the hands of people that's not supposed to be, or what we would consider not supposed to be in their hands, because based on statewide legislation, they would just go to a more lenient state and then you could just travel back with it to
Oh.
your state. So
So
yeah, that's also a major issue.
that's not considered a federal crime to bring firearms across state lines.
Well, because it was purchased legally in another state. I mean, the that state did its own background check and they passed. Whether
Mm.
they decided to travel, to get it, just like there are, gun shows and there's different
Yeah.
rules based on where you get it. So
Mm.
that's just, I mean, for that mainly would be to either have a national law legislation of, like, just one and done. No matter
Right.
what state you're in, this is what it's gonna be.
Right.
Or we get all the states to agree to tighten up the background checks to make sure that people who shouldn't have it don't get it.
Mm.
So that's just been one of the main things. And then there's always, like, illegal gun sales. There's For a time there was, like, if you purchased a gun from a friend, then
Mm.
technically you're not doing a background check. And
Right.
I know they did do legislation now where you do have to, they have a way of now where you have to get a background check, but for a time, you could
Right.
just get it off your friend.
Right, that's crazy. Because I was wondering, I was saying that I'm watching the news and all these shootings and stuff. I'm like, how is everybody getting a gun, and why are we back in the Wild Wild West era? Like, this is crazy right now. This is crazy. You don't even want to be outside because like everyone has a gun. Everybody.
It could be, and it's anywhere. It's not like there's one particular place that you can
Right.
go where you're safe. I mean, it's grocery stores, it's move for a time there was quite a few movie theaters,
Yeah.
there's churches. I mean, you're
Yeah.
not safe anywhere. Anywhere anyone can have a firearm and do whatever they want with it, you're not safe.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing, is like, And that's one of the things that makes it really hard when you're advocating is this, like, if it was one place that
Mhm.
this was happening,
Mm,
then that's one thing. Like, we
mm.
could say, "Stay away from that one place," but it's like we're saying it's anywhere. Like, it doesn't matter where you go. So, also, what are you gonna do as a legislator to help us to
Right.
not feel unsafe wherever we go? Like, you can't just have us never leave the house, I still
Mhm.
gotta go to work.
Exactly. Go to the grocery store, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a different kind of issue, and also making sure one of the things that is my priority is educating people about safe storage, which is why I like working with a organization called Be Smart, which
Mm,
literally is about safe storage
mm.
because
Okay.
um firearms is the number one killer of children, even more than like being hit by a car
Yes.
and things like that. So a lot of those things are literally accidents that happen because the child was able to access it. Like
Yes.
a 3-year-old shouldn't be able to access it.
No.
But there are cases where they are, and it's really sad, it's upsetting, and,
Yes.
part of what we do with, Every Town for Gun Safety, Moms in Action, Students in Action does give out free gun locks, which is
Mm.
really nice to see because people actually it's really nice to see actually people get excited when they see free gun locks
Okay.
because they're like, "Oh, I got siblings that need this, I got family members."
Yeah.
They're
They
like they'll be
really
like, "Oh, they're in another state, but I'll mail it to them." Like, they
okay.
they get really excited.
Oh my God,
Because
that is incredible. That is
Yeah.
incredible. People get excited over the smallest thing, but they know it works and it's not going to hurt
Yeah.
anyone anymore. It's not going to
Yeah.
hurt anyone just to have safety. It's just not. And that's the
Yeah.
whole thing. It's like that's why I'm asking you so much about mental health is because I'm in my theory of thinking, people have mental health issues, but they're allowed to have guns too. I don't
Mhm.
know why they can't put restrictions on that. Like they can't take a mental health valuation. Was that ever cleared to do or
From what I understand, there are certain like, I've never really researched in detail the background check, but to my understanding, with the right, criteria,
Hmm.
there are, like, certain people who, like, if they're, like, well known to have, like, depression and stuff, like, the way they do the background check, like, literally pretty much flags them. That's
Mm.
my understanding of it. It's not like, yeah, and then sometimes depending on, like, the issue, like, if you're talking, like, something major where they've had issues with, I don't particularly know the details on it, but that's just how it had been explained to me as far as
Mm.
background checks. And then each state has different levels of which that they follow that.
Yeah, like
Um
1, 2, 3, or 4, like that, right? Yeah.
But even beyond that, one of the things that I learned while I was in my advocacy was there was a huge rally actually outside the Supreme Court that we did, which was disarm domestic violence because domestic violence was the number one way women were getting killed by guns. And
Mm.
then one of the major things that we were trying to push was also because red flag laws, while they do protect you,
Mm.
they still do not defend you if it's not your husband. If you're
Mm.
not married to them,
Right.
if you're not married, then it doesn't protect you at all.
Mm.
If
Wow.
it's a boyfriend or a fiance, it does not protect you.
Wow.
And then so we were been trying to strengthen that, have been unsuccessful so far, but there's that. And then also, we were
Mhm.
trying to pass legislation that if you filed a restraining order, that he
Mhm.
would have or the spouse or whoever it was would have their firearm seized
Mm.
until the hearing to confirm whether or not they should have a restraining order. So you're saying women are now not filing restraining orders because as soon as he finds out,
Right.
then he would harm her.
Yeah. Go get a gun.
So that was another thing we're trying to pass still, is
Mm.
like which to me makes sense. Like
Yeah.
if it's a lie, then you get your stuff back at the hearing, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
You know?
Exactly. If you're telling the truth, hey, if you defending it, then whatever.
Exactly. But
But
yeah, so those are all the other things that go in combination. And when you look at the bigger picture, I mean, it's like there's so many different capacities to it, so many different situations because like when we say mental health, I feel like it's very generalized
yes.
where it's like if someone's diagnosed with one thing, then that automatically makes them want to do these things, and it's not necessarily true. There's a
Mm,
lot of other things in combination with mental health, but in general, there
mhm.
are also just people who want to harm other people. There are
Right.
also people who just that's the kind of life that they live, and so it's like, how do we keep firearms out of those hands? And
Yeah.
also too, there's 3D printers now. So it's not even like, I mean, even if we got all this stuff solved, right?
Another level of it, right? That's
We still have
crazy.
something else to worry about, something metal detectors can't detect, and it's still very harmful and still can be fatal to people.
Wow.
Don't think that because it's made of that like plastic or whatever is not harmful. It can be fatal still.
It's like
So
a
there's even that.
never-ending story. It's a never-ending story, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
And most people hurt other people. So
Yeah.
now it's before like sick and stone break my bones, but now it's like guns and guns will break your bones, and
Yeah.
in the
Mhm.
grave, and people not even thinking about those expenses. I mean, they get angry. How you that angry that you got to pick up a gun instead of picking up your fist? I'd rather see somebody fight than to pick up a gun. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, now it's like, and also school is so different because of that. Because back in the day it was just, you
yeah,
use your fists.
yeah,
Or
that's
like at
what I'm
most, like what? Because well, my mom, she's from my family's from Jamaica,
saying.
so they're
Okay,
like, she's like to her, she's like at most we pick up a rock, but like,
okay, the stick
but
for
they're
real.
not, even then they're not really like bringing knives to school or anything like that. Like you just
Yeah.
pick up a rock and
And I'm from up north. I mean, back in the day, we used to break dance. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Break it.
yeah.
You
So
want to stop?
now,
You got beef? Let's break dance. Go grab some cardboard. These I don't know. This is
but
this.
now you can't even like stand up to your own bully, even like,
No.
because like they
Mm-mm.
just straight up threaten you. Like my brother was threatened that way.
Wow.
Like, that he was threatened, like, he was gonna come to our house. I think he lived in a neighborhood, that he was gonna come to our house and shoot him,
Wow.
and, yeah, so it's like, you can't even like, what are you supposed to do with that, you
Mm,
know? So, it's just there's just so much involved in it that it's not there's neither a one and done situation, but it would require very particular analysis of what legislation would actually
mm,
help with, even just like not even related to gun violence prevention. Like, what can we do for mental health that will help these people? Because
right.
um, I'm a criminal justice major, and
Oh,
learning about mental health is my major has been the most interesting thing for me
okay.
because of how the system is set up, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, someone who may struggle with mental health, they
Mm-hmm.
end up causing, for example, major disturbance or something like that. They
Mm-hmm.
end up in jail. They
Mm-hmm.
end up, maybe they serve time. During the time that they serve, they're given some great medication. They make an improvement. They're maybe the best inmate. They
Yeah.
get released. They don't have
It's all
a
over again.
job,
The
or they don't have an
image.
income or health insurance to have the same medication that they needed probably before they even got into jail. And
Exactly.
now they're being taken into jail again because they didn't have the resources to help themselves.
Nope.
It's a
Get
never-ending
the
cycle.
story. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
so it's like when we have this, just like without just even think about anything, when we have just this setup, it's like how do we expect,
Mm,
like, the main point of people serving their time, going to jail is because like rehabilitation and being
right.
able to live in the world. That's why, like, there's certain programs like you can work while you're in prison and
Right.
things to like teach you to live out in the real world.
Right.
And then they're released to the real world. And
Yes.
there's literally like no programs to help them.
Zero.
Nobody to talk to,
Nothing.
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 Hmm.
And especially when it comes to mental health, it's like they ended up in there because they didn't have the resources. They
Exactly.
recovered because you gave them the resources, and then you release them
Yeah.
without the resources and expect them to not end up back in jail.
Yes.
This is the premise. I just want people to understand this is the premise of our justice system and how mental health is handled in the US.
Yes.
So, looking at that, I mean, there really can't be that much confusion that we're having so many problems
Right?
because we're not actually helping people. We're putting a Band-Aid on it for however long they're
Yep.
gonna be in jail. And then also too, I feel like it's bad to penalize someone because they weren't giving any assistance. Like, you're penalizing them, like, eventually when they, like, go before the judge and they're like, "You've violated your probation. You're here again. I can't believe this." And it's like, some of them actually end up wanting to be in there because they actually feel better.
Yes.
They don't wanna leave because they feel better.
You're being
Their,
taken care of.
mental health is whatever issues they're dealing with are, doing well, and, they're like, and some of them, the sad thing is they'll do crime just to go back in there.
That's
That's how
crazy,
bad
right?
it is.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
like the outside world, the world we consider normal and
Right.
productive
It's the
should
prison.
not.
It's like it's the prison. This is not a free
Yeah,
world, you know. In
yeah.
there, I bet you it's a free world. It's a free world. They
But
can
it's like
tell
to actually be
the
seeking
learning
help and get
system.
help, you
Yeah,
know?
the learning system is probably great.
Oh, yeah, it is, for
Hmm.
sure. Some
Hmm.
people getting degrees, like
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yeah. They're doing a
But,
lot.
like, it's just really sad that someone is penalized for something that's completely out of their control. And if we
Yes,
just had proper resources for them, for people who really need the help to just, like, provide them with the medication that
yes.
they need to be a normal functioning human being, would change literally everything.
Mhm.
But until we get to that point, really, I mean, nothing's really going to change. That's a whole issue in itself of why we can't just provide government aid for people to get the medication that they need to. Because,
It's
and
out there. It's
you
out
can
there.
take the most severe
Mhm.
cases
Yeah.
and, like, give them the stuff that they need, and they're like a fully functioning person. And
Okay.
even have the awareness to know, like, without and one thing I do in my pastime since I become a criminal justice major going after law school is I'll watch, like, the court proceedings of
Right.
some of the thing, and I mean, there will be ones that are so self-aware, they're like, "Well, I got released and I can't afford my medication, so you tell me what I'm supposed
What
to do
to
about
do.
that."
Right.
So it's just really, really sad,
It is.
and it's
Yeah.
really hard. This I mean, I don't know based on other countries, but I've just noticed that our justice system, they rehabilitate with the intention of re-enter into society, and
Yeah.
yet after serving your time, which is basically to nullify, like, I know I did something wrong, I served my time is meant to say, like, okay, it's in the past.
Yeah.
And yet they can't find work. They'll commit another crime just to go back to jail because they're on the streets because they're homeless now because no one will hire them because they have a record.
Yep.
So it's also that too.
Yes. It's a lot.
Everything working against them, and it's
Yes.
like, how are we supposed to and yet they wanna say, like, "We want these people to stop going to jail." And it's like, how are they gonna stop?
When they
I
can't be taken care of outside of the jail, only inside of it for them to feel free. And they can get a job in jail. It's like it's so opposite. It's like so parallel, you know? Like, wow.
don't
Like, yeah. Other countries are totally different. They totally different.
But I think it's also the general perspective of the public court of opinion is like once you've served time that you're this horrible person, and even though you've served your time, like, you could be released as like the best inmate possible and made a full turnaround with your life, and they'd still, believe that you shouldn't have left jail, that you should
Yeah.
still be in there, that you're still a criminal. And it's
Yeah,
like that the whole point is that they're a law abiding citizen now.
exactly. That's why
And
you
what
release.
holds them back is
Mhm.
this, misunderstanding of the system.
Exactly.
That it's just
Exactly.
punishment, 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 and not
Right.
like, they can do better.
Yeah, like the person changed, but the system didn't change. So
Yeah.
that's the whole thing right there. The system is still the same, but when the person's released, they have changed. Their mindset, everything has changed. But the system still has their old stinky ways of criminalizing people that are trying to get themselves together. I figured on that because I have a lot of history on what you're talking about, and the reentry programs that they have is nada. I don't even know they have grant money, but people are not reaching. They're not. It's not accessible to people that really are trying to do those things to help people that's getting out of incarceration and put them not not back in displacement again. You know,
Yeah.
the history is really really crazy right now. So you went to Annapolis. You went to Annapolis and you challenged some of them laws, people that we voted for to put them in office. And they just wear the suit. That's what they do. Is
Yeah.
wear nice suits. And you went against them. How was that?
I
How
mean,
boss lady?
some of them avoid us.
That's a
They
boss
always
lady energy right there. I
they
love
always seem to have a meeting, you know? But the one thing I like to tell people too is that, like, I meeting legislators I agree with is nice,
it.
but I'm not there for them.
Exactly.
I'm there for the ones who don't wanna see us, don't wanna talk to us. Some of them walk in and say, "Oh, my aide's right there, I got something to do." Like, we'll literally see them lock eyes, and they're like, "Oh, I got another meeting coming up, you just talk to my aide."
Wow.
And it's like, "Okay." But, it's like the fact that we're showing up, is like made this impact because, like, what are you scared of?
Right.
I know
Anything.
I know I love sharing this story. My first advocacy day, mind you, this was fresh from my experience. I was on fire. I mean, I'm always on fire, but
I
I was
love
not
it.
having it.
You got that boss
And
lady energy for real.
and I went in there and I argued with it. Like, it wasn't an argument. We had a full-blown debate. I had a full-blown debate with this legislator. I was like, "Why you can't pass this legislation?" I said, "What's the problem?"
Right.
you know? And he started saying, "My constituents." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm your constituent too, so what's the problem?
Right.
These are your constituents right here, because
Right.
there's a group of us."
We right
I'm
here.
like, we're your constituents. What's the problem?" I said, what's the issue?" But then he's like, and then he was talking about the law. Like, well, I was young. He was talking down to me, and I was like, "Okay, slow
Yeah.
your roll." I
Yeah.
said, "We got stop lights and stop signs
Okay.
for a reason, for
Okay.
something that is not made to harm people."
Right. Come on, man.
And we really got into it. I think the next year, he did not agree to meet with us the next year. I don't think I met with him again, but I know he'll never forget
I know.
this little girl was not playing with him.
She's sassy.
No, because and the thing is, part of it was genuine understanding. Like, I just genuinely couldn't understand, like, why we have a certain set of rules for everything else. For things that in general, like, basically a car cannot harm you. To me, I was like, can't harm you, and yet we do have stop signs because people just be driving their car and not paying attention.
Right, they do. And you get
So, I mean, there was an accident just a couple days ago in one of the local shopping centers. Someone was speeding and hit a poor 74-year-old woman and fatally killed her.
oh my
Like,
gosh.
even with the laws, people are still violating it. So my point was,
Mm.
firearms at the end of the day are meant to harm.
Yeah.
Whether it's people, whether it's, there's the hunting thing, whether it's people or animals, it's meant to do harm.
Mm.
Shouldn't we have as much, if not more,
Mm.
laws to protect people from someone who would misuse that?
Mm.
Then even the vehicles that we drive that may harm someone if someone's not paying attention, you
Mm.
know? So, to me, I just, like, generally just couldn't understand the thought process, and then he kinda ended it with, "My constituents would like that," and I was like, "Okay, whatever. Whatever, dude." I'm like, "We are your constituents as well, and, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but we're constituents as well." I said, "We'll see then, since you don't want to listen to us and you have a select few
Right.
that you want to listen to." Because
Okay.
that's the thing. I understood how it works. We put
Right.
you in office.
Right, that's right.
If you wanna value, let's call it the 5% of your constituents
Right.
over the rest of the majority percent, then we
Right.
can make a different choice next election, you
That's
know? And
right.
people really need to understand that. I was not voting age, mind you, but I knew. I was like,
Exactly.
"Well, we'll decide."
Right.
You know,
That's
and that's what I like to teach young people too, because they always say, "Oh," they're like, "Oh, I'd love to, advocate, talk to legislators about this issue, but I can't vote." I said, "So?"
that's
I'm
right.
like, but also I was like, "Do you see the adults around you rallying and speaking up and voting the way that would actually protect your life or no?" Because I'm
Right.
like, it literally impacts your life,
Yep. Yep.
your livelihood. So
Yes.
you have a right to talk to them. And,
Yes.
like, I may not be able to vote, but I'm sure if I talk to enough people and tell them that I survived a school shooting
Right.
and you don't wanna support protecting the lives of our children,
Right.
then I'm sure they'll make a different choice because a lot of people, like, you vote for the things, like, people like, maybe the things they say, the
Mhm.
laws that they've accomplished or passed over their career, that's really
Right.
nice,
Right.
but most people aren't getting, like, in the dirt with these people and actually talking to them and seeing how they react to certain legislation and how they are for certain things, so they can sing, as much as they want about the education of children, but if when someone is advocating for the education of children, they shoot it down,
Mhm.
that's two sides of a coin. So
Right.
that's my thing is like, let's be transparent, but also, like advocacy is your opportunity to see who your legislators really are.
Right. Right. Exactly. And what they're
Even if
doing.
even if you just stand in the corner and you just watch it all go down, like you're
Exactly.
seeing what it's really like.
Yeah.
Just and I hate that this is such a politicized issue as well, that
Mm,
it's because to me like it's not political to want your children to actually be the future.
exactly. Hmm.
Like we love to say children are the future. Let's, find funding for educate. I'm like elementary schoolers are worried about light up shoes being a distraction if a shooter comes in.
Yep. Right.
Like we what future? You know?
Yeah.
Like elementary schoolers, small children,
Yeah.
are worried about being found during a school shooting. So it's
Mm.
like, what future? Like, we really
Things
need
have
to put
changed.
our focus on. And I
Yes.
really don't like how, like, people, a lot of it is going to be like self education. I encourage reading up
Yeah.
multiple sources and really educating ourselves on the issues
Yes.
because when we do get more into politics with it, we'll have people who usually say no, who
Mm.
say, actually, or they go, actually, we do have legislation we are proposing for your cause. And you're like, oh, Lord. Um, and it's something that's like, that's not a solution.
Right.
That's accepting the problem, which it usually is. It's usually just accepting the problem, and I had well, actually, they weren't a legislator, they were like, "Why don't you just, put a armored gate around the school?" And I'm like, "What?"
Exactly. What
I'm
is
like,
that?
"Since when have we needed an armored gate around a school? Are you kidding me?"
Oh, he had to be kidding.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, that's a that's
He's
a
a
great
joke fire.
solution." No. Was fully serious, and it's like, it's like when you have interactions like that, it's like, we need to read up. We need to
Make
see
sure.
that, yeah, we're not gonna continue to allow it to have like, an armored gate to me is outrageous. I mean,
Yes.
when you really think back, schools used to be, like, the safest like, next to
Yes.
church as far as the
Church.
safest place,
Yes. Yes.
and it's
That's
like to reduce it to that,
yeah. Makes it
what are you gonna do? Barred windows next? Like, I mean, come on. It's like it's
mm.
just we shouldn't normalize it. We shouldn't feel like it's normal to live like this because it's not. I mean, the US is like the only country that really has this major problem. Like when
Yes.
you look at other countries,
I have.
a major attack is like some guy with a knife.
Okay.
And it's like he can only get through so many people, you know? It's just
Yeah.
some dude, they're like, "Oh my," and that's major news to them that
Yes.
this person had a knife and went around stabbing people.
Yeah.
It's so different compared to yeah, like, the worst and it also too, like, I mean, they're not gonna put regulations on a knife, you can get that out your kitchen, but it's like some random attack, right? And then here, it's completely different is where, like, someone has a firearm, we did pass legislation against the what's called a bump stock, which
Mm.
you could put on firearm that made it an automatic weapon. But
Mm.
there's a lot of those in Maryland as well, where they were, and it's cheap. You can either like 3D printed, it was super cheap to purchase, and you just pop that on your firearm, and it was now an automatic weapon. And that was found at a lot of different shooting crime scenes as well throughout Maryland. And that's another major issue.
You know
So it's
what?
like,
It's so crazy. Every time you talk about the three, as soon as you said that, I thought about the Jetsons. I'm like,
yeah,
this is
I
so,
know.
this is so far.
Everything's,
The Flintstones. This is so like,
yeah,
wow.
advanced.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, it's
crazy.
interesting, isn't it? How all those movies who are like super far in the future, 100 years into the future, will have, electronic vehicles and stuff like that, and we have it now.
Yes, this is insane. It's insane. Yeah, it's true. It's safer to be in another country. They're more safer. It's like this is like turning into the third world country as we speak. It's more a terrorist. We are our own terrorists. This is crazy. We're
Yeah,
terrorizing each other.
mhm.
These people with the
And that's
guns
it.
need to go ahead and fight the war. They fighting each other, which is it don't make any sense. Make it make sense. It don't make any sense. Put the guns
No,
down. Put a book. Pick up a book or
um,
something. So, what projects are you currently working on right now that you're excited about? What's going on?
so my newest project that I'm super duper excited about
Yes,
is
let's hear
I actually was asked to partner with the Community Leaders Network,
Oh,
which
wow.
is an organization that does workshops with middle school girls and helping them with becoming leaders.
Get
And I
out.
was asked to help with a workshop. So
Mhm.
I'll be part of a workshop and teaching them about using their voice, advocacy, leadership,
What?
confidence,
Come
all
on
the work.
Come on
Uh,
now.
I'm so excited to meet these girls, inspire them to use their voice, and
Awesome.
have this different kind of platform that I've always wanted to do something like this. So it's been amazing that I got this opportunity,
Yeah.
that I will be doing this. So I'm so excited. I'm like putting my PowerPoints together and like
Oh, man. This
it's
is
gonna be
awesome.
a whole like 30 minutes. And I'm like, 30 minutes.
I love it for you. That is beautiful. Let me know so you can get back on the show and let me know everything's going on with the girls. I would love to have them on
Yes.
here. My whole show is about entrepreneurship. It's boss lady in business. I've been in business for a very long time, so I always had a voice. Always had a voice.
Yeah.
Everyone knows me as Sunny Smiles, the voice. I've
Mhm.
been doing this for a very long time. But the people I've met on my journey are people that spoken and have a voice, and they dedicate their purpose over everything. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I commend you for what you're doing. So when did this project start? When did it start? Has it started
So
yet? Or
well, it'll be in December is when they're holding that workshop. So in December 16th is the day we confirmed. And so yeah, I'll be doing that, meeting middle school girls and sharing my story about what I went through, how I became a leader and advocate,
yeah,
even my pageant journey of how I started doing that, and how they can become their own leaders.
yeah,
And this is very exciting for me because I really love to inspire young people, not just in the sense of like just what I'm doing, but able to like speak to them.
yes.
um, one thing that actually has been a very spiritual journey for me with
Mm,
my walk with the Lord is
yes.
that this past pageant, my biggest win wasn't whether I placed. My biggest win wasn't any award. I he you sometimes you pray and you say, Lord, use me. Or
Yes.
you say, Lord, I'll say, Lord, use my mouth for
And
your work.
won't he do it?
And I just got to see myself, I got to speak life over to some women there. Like,
Yes.
I got to speak the name of Jesus. I got
Yes.
to speak to them. Like, I got to allow the Holy Spirit to fully take, like, use me and like
Yes. Yes.
say things to them that they needed to hear. I know
Yes.
there was one young lady where I said, I said, "You think I'm here just for this pageant?" I said, "You think I'm here just for this?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm here for you."
Okay.
I'm here for this moment of you sitting here like this and me speaking to you a
Right.
message God has for you.
Come
And
on.
it's like that's what I carried with me throughout that whole entire experience of just using that. So it's also knowing that I can speak life into
Mm,
people and
mm.
being able to touch the lives of these middle school girls, being able to but I it's something people always said about me when when I did speak, like, because I have given speeches and stuff throughout my time with advocacy and Advocacy Day, and they would say, they come to me and say, "Oh, I got chills," and I'm like, "I have no idea what that means."
You
I'm
touched
like,
that
'cause to me
soul.
no, to
You
me, I'm
touched
just
that
like, reading
soul.
my little
But you touched
reading
their soul. You touched their soul. That's a good thing. That's a
Yes.
gift. That's a gift from God. You asked him and he gave it to you, just like Jabez. He gave it to you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I got baptized in January,
Oh, praise
actually. So I
God.
just got baptized. I've been involved in the church. I've been volunteering in the church. I've been very involved with him and allowing him to lead me and, you
Busy
know,
angel feet. You just been so busy.
yeah. Yeah, so just allowing him to use me and really, and I just see, like, where he's taken me as far as, like, there's no setbacks. Like, a couple months ago, I was laid up in the hospital with pneumonia,
Oh,
like, and
gosh.
I remember when I ended up there, I went, like, 3 times, they kept turning me away.
What?
They were like, "Oh, you'll recover." They kept turning me away. And the time number 4 before I went, I looked at my mom and I have asthma too, so it was real, really bad.
Yes.
And I
Oh,
told my mom, I said, "I really feel like I'm gonna go to sleep and not wake up." Like,
oh,
I told her, I said, "I feel like I'm dying." Like, cause you don't wanna say that, but I'm like, I told her, I said, "I'm withering away." Like, I can feel myself getting weaker by the day. And
wow.
then, when I went in there, I had pneumonia, and then I also had inflammation around my heart,
Mm,
along with, just major trouble breathing. Even with treatment, I was still struggling to breathe.
mm,
I was on a walker at
mm.
25 years old. I was using a walker to get around, and it only took me a couple steps to get out. Like, by the time the bathroom be right there next to the bed. By the time I get to that bathroom, I'm huffing, I'm puffing, I'm tired.
Wow.
And it's just like I went from that to, they were gonna do rehab physical therapy and
Mm,
just like building up. I'm still building up my strength. I'm not
wow.
even like I'm and just building up my strength and being able to make it there. Like that's part of my testimony. He kept me, he said, "I'm not done with you yet."
Man, yeah, your
You
assignment is
know?
not done yet. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, but nothing is a setback. Like,
Mm,
there's things that happen to us that renew our faith in him,
come on now.
that we know that he keeps his promises. Okay.
Yes, he does. Yes, yeah.
And anything that's not for me, he won't let it be for me.
Come on now.
And
Yes.
it's not, it's crazy. Cause my mom was like, she's like, "Are you like really?" Because after a pageant, when we all want to win,
Yeah.
and sometimes you feel, like, disappointed, and I'm like, "You know what? I'm really not, like, disappointed, like, I'm fine, actually."
Right, right.
I've been more destroyed losing, like, state pageants than I am right now, I'm like and it's crazy because I would not recognize myself. If
Oh,
my past self song, I would not recognize myself at all, and I'm like, like, I really got to touch the lives of other women, speak the
yeah.
name of Jesus. I've been really bold, like, I
Mm,
don't recognize myself, like, I'll just talk
mm,
about Jesus, I don't care where I am.
mm.
And, even at that event, you asked me, like, how I met
Yeah.
your friend, like, even at that event, they were having multiple events there, and I think they had, like, a little thing where the reverend was speaking at one point, and they had a little event, and I went over there, and I saw this woman, and she was, like, crying, she was, like, really crying, and I felt, like, pulled, and I asked her, like, I was like, "Can I pray for you?" And she was like, "Yes, please," and that was a big thing for me because I've never prayed for anyone outside my church.
Wow.
Never. Not like, well, I pray for people outside my church, but I've never like walked up to someone and been like, "I need to pray for you," because I
Right.
felt like I had to. Like, don't get me wrong, there was like a lot of people who had lost loved ones to gun violence. She wasn't the only one that was upset, but I was like, it was like her in particular. When I looked at her, I
Mm.
felt pulled to, and I'm like, he is doing something to me.
Yes, he is, girl.
You
He is.
know, he's doing something to me, and I just love sharing my testimony and my walk with Jesus because, man, it doesn't matter where you are, he is still waiting.
Yes, he
He is
is.
still waiting, and
Ah.
I've learned a lot of what I've gone through.
Mm,
I've learned to be, very, like, determined to stay with my beliefs,
mm.
determined to be, like, 10 toes down or nothing,
Okay.
and, because, there's nothing that I have right now I wouldn't have without him. There's
Amen.
like, I'm living when we
Mm,
say, "Oh, you're living the prayers you pray for,"
right.
I'm like, how can I even find room to complain? And it's
Exactly.
like I love to share that with people because, like, yeah, that raise would be cute, but
Mm,
girl, a year ago, it was
okay.
looking bleak.
Okay.
you know? you know? It's like, and it's like also too, is like all these things are so worldly. Like my
Yeah.
bills, like guy ain't gonna ask me about my credit card bill
Yeah. Right.
balance when I get up there.
Yeah, you can be like, you need me to pay
So
that off for the time.
exactly. right? So it's all the things we like to like stress about or worry about. And I'm like, you know what? As long as I have a place to lay my head,
Right.
and it's like, I'm in a better situation than I was when I prayed for him to help me, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's a very impactful journey. I can't wait to see what he's doing next because
Ooh,
he's definitely changing me, reforming me,
come on now.
molding me.
Getting
And,
ready.
I
Mhm.
love sharing my life with him and how I talk to him all the time. I'm
Mhm.
able to feel the Holy Spirit all the time and just call on him.
Mm.
I worship on my when I tell you I don't recognize myself, I don't think you understand. I worship. And you know what? It's crazy. Like if my mom calls me on my way to work, I'm like, "Mom," I was like, is it urgent? Because this is my time with God on my way to work. Like I got like, I'm like, I'm trying to worship real quick.
That's right.
By the time I get there, and I'm pretty close to my job too. It'd be like a 5 minute, 5 minute drive. I'm
That's
like,
so cute.
don't interrupt my time.
Okay. For a time with Jesus.
Yes, all
You
the
sound
time.
like me.
I'm humming stuff. I'm humming stuff
Yes.
about Jesus. I
Yes.
think, even at my work, I talk about it all the time. I think I annoyed my coworker the other day, but it's fine because they're everything. They were talking about end times and like end time movies. I think there was a new movie that came out. Was it Steven Spielberg did it
Yes, I
where
went to go
the
see it. I love it.
and I said, he was talking about, the world, and I said, "You know what? That's talked about in the book of Revelation."
Mhm.
And he was like, "Okay." Now, mind you, he said he's a Christian, like, so I was like, he was like, "Okay." And then he was saying, and then I think there was another time, he was saying like that I seem to be doing very well and that I'm really balanced. And I said, I'm balanced by Jesus. And he was like, he literally threw up his hand and he was like, I'm done. I'm like, well,
Okay. This
so to be able to impact others too is really amazing to see people change. It's like just with my constant resolve and my constant conversations that align with like, I think one day he came up and he was like, I really need Jesus. And this is the most random thing
wow.
that I thought I would never hear coming from them. And I was like, yeah. I was like, you do. I was like, getting that word. And it's like,
Soak it up.
when I first met the person, they're like, there's no way they would have ever
Mm.
aligned it. But it's like, wherever you are, you're there for a reason, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
like to never keep quiet.
Yes.
Never keep quiet about your Lord. And
Yeah.
I know I've had people be like, you're not worried about HR, worry about them for what?
For real.
God will give me another job. I mean, if that's the road they want to take.
Okay.
I mean, I wear my little cross around my neck too, and I'm like, if they want to get me on that too as far as dress code, let's go. But I'm not gonna stop saying Jesus. I've had customers come up and tell me to pray for them, that they're
Mm.
going through a lot and to pray for them. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
know? It's
Yeah.
like really just like I really want to teach people like it's not like we don't live for other people.
Right.
I serve one master,
That's right.
and that is God. There is one God, our heavenly Father,
Right.
and that's the only person that I serve. That's the only one I serve.
That's right.
People's opinions don't matter. Like me or don't like me, you're gonna hear about Jesus.
Okay.
Like me or don't like me, I'm gonna keep on
I love
telling you about my Lord. Like it's crazy because I've had some people be like, "How are you so like?" They'd say like, "How are you so down for Jesus?" Like my other church friends, and I'm like, because there's nothing else.
That's right.
There is nothing else. There is nothing else for me.
And when you try
There
both sides, you're gonna see this side is the best because you can't fight with him. You can't. You're not gonna win.
But
Ain't
there's no title, there's no promotion, there's no money, there's no nothing that could
nothing but peace.
supersede my yes, he's given me so much so
This,
much joy. I
yes.
had when I r well, I think right before I got baptized, I really started getting close to him. And
Mm.
I met up with some friends and they're like, "You seem really happy." They're like, Are you seeing someone?" Like, they thought I was dating for real. They were like, "No." They're like, "Your cheeks are rosy and, like, you're looking, like, very vibrant." And
Glowing.
I'm like, "Oh, I am seeing someone. His name is Jesus."
Yes. You sound like me.
So, yeah, love my Lord. He has
Yes.
brought me through so much, and he
Yes.
has so many plans for me. There's
Yes.
no such thing as a setback.
No.
I think that's what I posted when I, did my final post for
Wait, hold on.
my result.
That's the next question. What's
Oh, okay.
the next question? Okay. This is called my little rap fire. What's your favorite quote?
Oh, my favorite quote?
Uh-huh. What you just about to
Mm,
say?
the one I really love
Mhm.
right now is where, in the Bible it says, "Though sorrow and
Mm.
weeping may endure for a night, joy comes in the morning." And I said, "Ooh,
Ooh, wee.
that is so true." Oh, there's been some weeping. There's
Ooh.
been there's been some bawling even, but
Yes.
if I don't feel joy and peace in the morning after, it's
Yes.
just
Yes. Yes.
yes,
Find
that's
rest in.
the one that keeps me going.
That's right. That's right. And
Yeah.
he will do it. He will
Yes,
do it.
you will.
So, one word that describes hope to you.
Ooh, word?
Mhm.
Um, hmm, love.
Mm. Try
Yeah,
love.
if we just love each other, like
Mm.
we're called to love each other, even to not judge each other because it's not our job, but to like Jesus, you look past the sin because that's not their fault.
Right.
It's the corrupt world that we live in, and we just love one another.
That's
You
right.
know, that
Yes.
supersedes everything. And that's what brings people back to Jesus too,
Yes.
is to
Yes.
not feel judgment, but just to feel love. Because
That's
that's what Jesus does. He meets us in the mess. He
yes.
meets us in the mud.
Yes.
And he
Right.
says, "Take hold of me.
Yes.
I'm right here." He
That's
said,
right.
"Even when you thought I wasn't there, it was me
Right.
holding you up.
That's
It was
right.
me
Yeah.
standing in front of you."
Yep. 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 That's one of my quotes. Even though you can't see him, just know he there. He's
Yes.
really there.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Faithful.
like the closer you get to him and you start to feel him constantly, the more you realize he really was there the whole time.
That's right.
Like,
He ain't never do it nowhere. He been in your face the whole time. The whole
waiting,
time. Just waiting for you. Yeah.
patient.
Yeah. Patient. He is
Yeah.
so patient. I love him. I love
Yeah.
that's where I believe network came from. It came from the love of God. Yes.
Yes.
Belief,
And
but
that's a beautiful thing that you're doing, that we're keeping his name involved and alive, and
yes.
to 'cause a lot of people don't, are worried about putting it in, like, the business for, like, people who don't believe. It's like, no, but they can be a believer.
Yep. Make them a believer, for real.
Mhm,
But in the day, I believe network podcasting was birthed through just a thought that God had given me. And, I was like, I was struggling, like, I don't want to do singular music. I did that for a very long time. It didn't get me nowhere. And people was like,
mhm,
oh, you playing this gospel? Yeah, gospel. People that's have belief in their sound, belief in their voice, in their creative way of speaking about the
mhm,
Lord. So I have a lot of gospel rappers, a lot of gospel R&Bs that's are all neutral. You feel me? Like they don't have anything bad to say. They have more testimony in their rap. And I love it. And I love everything about it that I'm doing because I feel like this is a platform for them to, if they have mental health issues and they want to rap about their situation and testify what God has brought them out, they can just come on here and do what they got to do. I have future opportunities I'm be working on too in the future, but right now I'm working with powerful people that have voices and they're on this mic, and this is your stage. It's not my stage. It's your stage, and it's God's stage.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I don't ask anybody for anything but their voice and to help encourage other people and inspire them to want more. They don't have
mhm,
to sit there that long. There's no need to sit there that long. God is showing me, put this out here, connect, connect, connect. And I'm just doing that,
but
and I'm having
even
fun
ask
with it.
them.
Yeah.
Sometimes we forget to ask them, like, I know I've been waiting a long time. What is it that I haven't done yet that you waiting on me to do? Because 'Cause it'll be that one thing.
Yep. One thing.
It'll be one thing he's, like, checking you for
Yeah.
that you haven't fixed yet, and then as
Yep.
soon as you do that thing.
Yep. There you go. Yep. And one of them is surrender.
Oh, yeah,
First
is
thing
an
that I
important
do.
part.
Yes, start there. Clean yourself up and surrender and let the Lord let you. It's time to serve and time to teach people how to serve. And
Mhm,
people forget about that. Like when you start in the beginning of serving the Lord, after you start serving and you get your experience, your testimonies in, then you teach them how to serve. That's what you're doing now. You're passing the torch. You're teaching them how to serve. You went through all your trials and tribulations. Now let's teach people how to serve so we can have a better connection to the Lord. But when they stop connecting, they go to problems. They go to mental health, they go to
mhm,
guns. This there's
and
no, it's nothing connecting them together anymore. Everyone is just
mhm,
everywhere. And they blaming it on mental health, but nothing wrong with them. They
yeah.
just seek the Lord.
And service, it's good to remember that service does not equal blessing. It is not a transactional relationship.
No, it's not. No.
It's not, oh, if I serve here or if I, do all these donations here, then that means he gonna bless me tenfold. That's not what it's about.
No, it's not. Mm-mm. Isaiah 58 talks about that all the time. You
Mhm.
serving is tithing. You don't have to give one dime to anybody to get anything or help them reach another place. You serving for the Lord is
The
serving.
posture of your heart. I
Yeah,
mean, really, it's at the
yeah,
end of the day, it's fixes the posture of your heart.
yes, yeah.
I think there's a general sentiment too, especially when we look at homelessness, is like,
Mhm.
because they had that show so many years ago about like the people who pretend and like are scammers, and they go,
Oh yeah,
people now they're like, but what if they're a scammer? I said that's between them and God.
real.
That's between them and God.
I back in the day, I just knew there was an organization. I was like, it's just too many.
Yes.
I said they go
Yeah.
check in somewhere because there's just too many of them with the same situation. I said I might have to go get me a cardboard box and say the same thing. I need card note money.
I know. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's the posture of your heart to just be
Yes.
loving to everyone, to not judge them, to not
Yes.
assume that you know what they've been through, what they're going through, what's going on with them.
No,
You
don't do that.
know, just
Yes.
like just be giving. They
Yes.
asking for a dollar, give them the dollar. It's like
Yeah,
it's between them and the Lord if it's true or not.
that's right.
You can even leave them with some nice parting words about the love of
Yes.
Jesus.
That's it.
you know?
That's it.
Because even if they are, then that'll touch them. And
Yes, it
they might never go back out again. You never know.
Well, we're about to sign off here. It's been an honor. So I have a signature question from Sunny Smile Show. What does belief mean to you?
Well, it means believing in Jesus, believing in God, and that He is still working on me, still moving on me, still using me all the time, and that I get to share Him with so many people.
Oh, that's so sweet. That is so sweet. You is the apple of his eye. So, Miss Scarlett, how can someone become involved with your organization? And you want to leave them some details on how to get in touch with you and so on and so forth?
So if you or if you know a student or you are a student, then you can contact, let's see, you can go to Students Be in Action dot, I don't know if it's org, but if you Google Students Be in Action, it'll pull up the page and they'll actually find the closest group to you.
Oh,
That so it'll find the closest leader to you and you can figure out what you want to sign up for. Right now, I think they're preparing for legislative things, so like you could sign up to do like the calls and stuff.
okay.
For anyone who is not a student, you would sign up for Moms in Action. That does include men because we have men who are man enough to be a mom.
Okay.
And you can go to Moms Demand Action. You can Google that as well, and it'll pop up, and that will also find closest group to you as well. We're also on Instagram,
Mhm.
and Facebook as well. So it's very easy to find. We're a national organization, so it's very easy to find that information.
So, what age group, what grade does it start at?
It's I'd say it's high school and college, but you could do like I think it starts at like 16 for
16.
students to be in action. Yes.
Okay. 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 So, what message would you like to leave for the audience tonight?
That no matter where you are, what you're doing, your voice does matter, and you are the most important voice in the room, no matter who you are. And sometimes, even if everyone's saying the same thing, they waiting on you. You're not
Mm,
waiting on them. They waiting on you to lead
okay.
them.
You the party.
And yes, and to be the leader you have been waiting for,
Hmm.
and anything that you are passionate about to pursue it. um and that's the key to being a change maker, is that you, when everyone else was questioning the water, you took the first step, and then
Mm,
they will follow you.
that's right. The
You'll
vision.
shock yourself.
The vision can last forever. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So, Miss Scarlett, I want to thank you for your courage, your leadership, and for reminding all of us that voice really can create change. We
Thank
appreciate you
you.
joining us today on the Sunny Smile Show Live. We wish you continued success as you help build safer communities, inspire the next generation of leaders, and we're going to say good night. This is Sunny Smile Show, and on I Believe Network Podcasters, Topic Tuesdays with Miss Charlotte, Miss Marilyn, and we're gonna say thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you, and abundance all over your life.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you
I'm gonna
so
keep in
much.
touch. I got some students
Yeah.
for you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, baby.
It was
Night night.
nice talking to you.
You too. I'm gonna email you.
Okay.
Okay.